I'm going to open up a tool called the pre-positioning tool. Okay? It's a global tool. It's going to affect the entire contour of that restoration. I try and stay with the major tools until the very end. Okay? A lot of times when we use the minor tools like form or drop or smooth, any of those, sometimes our restorations will get wrinkly. Okay? Or we end up tending to add a little bit and then take a little bit away and then smooth a little bit and then we're back adding a little bit more. So what I try and do is work it through where I'm using all the major tools so that I get a better restoration and work my way down systematically through it. So here I've gone ahead, I've opened up the pre-positioning tool, but now I'm going to go up to Window, Display option. I'm going to turn on my ghost image transparent, and I'm going to make my restoration solid. Okay, so now as I look through this, I can see the target. Okay, I can see where I want to get to, and I can see what my restoration looks like inside of this. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Scale. Here I'm too wide, mesial distally, or in my green. Okay, as I look at my tools, so I'm going to go to the green side here. I see that one is smaller, one's larger. We're going to go ahead and shrink down our restoration. You know, once we get it sized just about right, now I'm going to move it a little bit to the distal. You know, it looks like I'm starting to make contact over here. I'm close to my midline, but I'm still a little bit wide, so I'll go back to scale. Okay, roughly I've got about the width that I want. Okay, but now here's the thing, is that anytime you start to do these restorations, you've got a three-dimensional image, and so you're going to have to end up wiggling this in. Okay, and every time that I propose this, it's going to be a little bit different. So what's important about that is that you have to get used to your tools so that you understand that, you know, if it's rotated like this, exactly what I have to do to wiggle that restoration in. But here I'll rotate it a little bit. I'm going to turn my restoration so I can see it. Always make sure that you're turning your restoration in the direction that you're going to affect it. So in other words, if I'm looking at my restoration like this, but I'm going to affect it labiolingually, I can't see what's really happening. If I want to affect it in that direction, I'm going to turn it so that I can actually see what's happening with it. So now I'm going to go here. I want to end up rotating it a little bit, getting it into that same plane, and we're going to bring it out. Okay. Now again, three-dimensional, I've got to end up rotating it again a different direction here. We'll whoop, a little bit too far there. And now let's increase our height a little bit. And then we'll go back just a little bit to the lingual. So we're starting to wiggle that restoration in place. Okay. And now as we start to look at it, you know, we're still just probably a little bit too wide, so I'll go back to scale. Make it just a little bit smaller. And again, what I'm trying to do is I want to end up getting this restoration so that when I click forward that I'm at that 85% mark, right about in there. So you can see here where, you know, the restoration's coming through, where I'm starting to go behind it, where it's shadowed. So now we worked that restoration around, taking a look at it here. Yeah, I think now I fall into that where I'm at least 85% of the way done. Okay? So now I feel confident that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move forward. Now, the tool that I'm going to pick on next is still a major tool, and it's scale. Okay? I'm going to affect global areas of it. I'm not going to pick on just a minor tool that's going to change just a small area. So again, I'm going to go back up. We'll turn on occlusion so that it's transparent. And now I can see through my restoration. I'm going to bring this height of contour out just a little bit. Now I've got to take a look in my proximal areas. I want to end up closing up those black triangles. So I'll click on my height of contour line. We'll lower it. Okay, and we've kind of squared that up a little bit. Now let's go ahead and bring up our occlusion again. Take a look. Now we have to start to take a look here at our midline. So let's turn off occlusion. Let's turn this on. And let's lower our contour over here. Take a look again at it. Pretty close here. Let's just a little bit more, and let's bring it over just a little bit to the mesial, maybe not quite that far. Now if I click this off, I'll click off scale. Now I take a look at it where I've got the restoration, and I'm probably, 90, 95% of the way done. Okay, it's almost done. Now is when you can pull out the form tool or something like that and add a little bit here or there. Here I'm going to go up, take a look at it. If I click on my occlusion, I can see that I'm a little bit shy up here. Whenever you're using this tool, make sure that you end up right-clicking, okay? You want to see the amount, the area that you're going to end up affecting. It's real important that we don't go over here, grab a lot, and we take a look at it, and now I start to use it, and all of a sudden I get this change that's really drastic, okay? So I'll go over, I can end up either scrolling, or I can go back over and pick on one of the buttons. I'm just going to go through it. And I can call up my occlusion and keep checking it and seeing where we're at here, okay? I can start taking a look, and as soon as I see that start to break through like that, I know I've started to satisfy that incisal length. And I'm going to go ahead and take away. And now what I have to do is I have to start looking at that gingival contour, okay? The area that fell off, below that correlate, and I couldn't see it. So I'll hit trim, and again, I'm going to end up right-clicking. I want to see the area that I'm going to affect. So I'll go back, and all I want to do is just come around here and just add a little bit.